Hey everybody, Ryan Medora here, and I've got another blues bass lesson for you. This is part of a series. I think we've got enough blues material to call this a series now. We've had the Duck Dunn stuff, Willie Dixon, the Country Route 5, the Blues Bump, so many great things, and recently a video on chromatic transitions. This is going to be kind of a follow-up to that, and we're going to talk about rhythm and note density. So if you haven't checked out those videos already, I highly recommend giving them a look, checking out the chromatic transitions one in particular. But today we're going to talk about how to play a shuffle or a slow blues and how to play a little bit with the amount of notes you're fitting into your bass line. So there are a couple different ways to approach a shuffle feel and a slow blues feel, and we're going to go over some of those and what you can do to play with that a little bit. Now, the reason why this is so important is, when we're playing music, we have to deal with notes, harmony, and rhythm. So it's great to be able to have a little bit of flexibility with that. We do want to adhere to a specific feel. We want to be aware of, hey, we're playing the shuffle. But we also want to have a little bit of playfulness within the confines of a shuffle, which, frankly, there's a lot of room to do a lot of maneuvering there. And so for right now, we're going to go over a basic shuffle pattern in the key of A so that we can kind of work in this rhythmic note density conversation. So first, I'm just going to find my A here on the 5th fret. I'm going to play my root, the 3rd, the 5th, the 6th, and then I'll probably hit the octave and flip back, mainly using those notes, the root, 3rd, 5th, 6th, and octave. I'm going to play this across a standard 12-bar blues in the key of A, and I'm particularly going to focus on the feel that I'm using. So I'm going to go over a couple different standard shuffle feels. The first is straight up quarter notes. Now, when we talk about rhythmic density, which is a term I've mentioned a couple times, what it really means is how many notes we're fitting into a bar. Are we fitting in a lot of notes? Does it feel very dense, or does it feel pretty open and sparse with just a few notes? Now, obviously, if we start with whole notes, that's just playing a note and letting it ring. Half notes would be 2 beats. Quarter notes would go 1, 2, 3, 4. Eighth notes, we're gonna bring a little more density to the party. And when we're playing a shuffle, we are gonna have this shuffled or swung eighth note feel. It's not gonna be straight eighths, so it's gonna feel something like this. So if we were to kind of A-B those two feels, this would be the shuffle feel where we're just playing straight quarter notes versus the swung eighth notes or shuffled eighth notes. Where you can see that we're playing 2 attacks per note. So now that we've got the basics of those two feels, you can kind of move back and forth between them. A great thing to do is maybe try to play a verse simpler. So if somebody's singing, play the quarter note approach. And then if the dynamics shift a little bit for a chorus, maybe you want to throw in those eighth notes and add a little bit more density to the party. Now, where this really gets interesting is when we use transitions, like the chromatic transitions, to move from one chord to, let's say, a 4 chord. And then we also kind of lock in with other members of the band to create a moment of heightened dynamics, which is really fun. So I'm going to play this shuffle feel, and I'm going to use a chromatic transition where I'm going from my 1 chord to my 4 chord. And I'm going to go there like this. So I'm going to play my root note, then I'm going to play the 2nd scale degree, B, walk it up to the 4 chord, which is landing on a D. So when I do this, maybe I'm playing just this 8th note feel. And I'm applying that 8th note feel to the chromatic transition. So everything right now is pretty by the book. It's all good. And if I wanted to kind of make that transition feel like more of a moment, maybe I'll open it up a little bit and play it with just quarter notes. And it would sound like this. And that's totally good. Absolutely cool to do that. It adds a little more space. It lets it breathe a little bit, and you're still getting what you need to get out of the bass part. The next thing you can do is say, well, what if we kind of want to make this a bigger moment? You can totally work in triplets. So now I'm going to play the bass line the same way with that shuffled eighth feel, but I'm going to integrate triplets as I'm doing that transition, and it's going to feel a little bit more intense. And there you have it. So this is, again, a great thing to do to kind of like match up with the drummer, create kind of a musical moment, especially if you're playing a blues for, 5 odd minutes and the guitar player is soloing away and you want to feel like there's a moment that's happening. There's energy, there's a reason to pay attention and listen, turn your head over from behind the bar. And so when you lock in with the drummer and both of you build at the same time, as they build and you bring in this triplet feel, you really are matching them dynamically and you're creating this like very special moment. And then all of a sudden you have new best friends. You have a drummer who's like, man, this bass player pays attention. You have the guitar player that's like, wow, that was the best solo I ever played. I love having you guys. There's a rhythm section. How cool. This is really great in terms of just connecting with other players and showing them that you're able to communicate and be hip to what's going on musically, and then also create moments within a song. So again, having this understanding of rhythm and knowing a couple of little things that you can do to subtly change what you're playing and influence the feel of the song can be really important. So I hope you dug this lesson. I hope you're able to apply these concepts. Please check out both my Patreon page and my True Fire channel for tab, notation, and lots of other fun lessons. And happy practicing, everybody. Keep it groovy.